All right, level 2, this is our second video for this week. This is week 13 through 17, and I'm going to be doing a demonstration on the red. So we talked a little bit about the blue earlier, and I want to talk to y'all a little bit about all the colors that we will be adding to the red. So pretty much in your pack, I pulled out all the reds that you all have, along with there is a peach, and there is a light peach, and there is also a blush pink that you can use on these strips. So these strips do have orange looking undertones, which this poppy red is really good for that. And then the carmine red is really good as well. There's some cool reds that are going on in this piece, like magenta. And then you also have the crimson red, which is great. I left out my blues that I used on this strip because there's quite a lot of these blues in the darks of the strip, along with there's some purples as well. So we have violet, and then we have blue violet that's there as well. And I also use the indigo blue in there too. So you can go back and forth with this. The main thing I would tell you is just to make sure that it has a high contrast sheen where you see that, as well as some dark and some medium dark value. You can see on this strip there's a really nice range of value that's happening here. So in this little spot, I've got quite a lot of a range of light, medium, and dark values. I thought this would be a good section to show you some stuff on. So you can see where I added the light value. I actually added a cream right here. So what you can do is figure out what the light undertone of this is, and one way you can do that is just to figure out, is this warm or is this a cool tone? So to me, what I'm looking at here, it looks very warm. So I'm going to start out, I'm not going to add my red, but I am going to add my peach, which is a warm tone. If it gets kind of cooler, you could add a pink there. That's what I would recommend you do, is go with the cooler tones. You can do peach. With the warmer, with the cooler, you can add pink. With the warmer, you can add more of a peach right there. So I'm going to add just a little bit here. It trickles out into some of the medium dark tones here. Not too much, but there's a little bit of a reflective quality there. Since we're going warm right here, I'm going to add initially my poppy seed, or poppy red. So we'll go with that. And this poppy red, it comes across as very orange, which is what we want for the moment. And then what I'm going to do is go back and I'm going to add my original peach on top of that, just to brighten it up just a little bit in some of these different highlights. And to brighten that up even more, later on I'm going to add this light peach tone, so we'll wait on that. So the next thing in general that you're going to be adding quite a lot of to your work is this crimson red. This is I would say fairly close to the actual color of your paper that you're going to be observing. It's a little bit harsh for some of the highlights, but if you have these lower highlights that you added with the peaches and stuff, if you lay those down, it won't be too extreme, and it won't make it too dark as you start to layer this stuff. So I'm going to have this actually come into the dark and the medium dark areas. So I'm laying actually a foundation of this crimson red in the darker places too. Okay, so in the medium area, you're going to have more of a cooler look to your work. So I've got a magenta right here that I'm going to have just a hair just to make this red not look as orangey in some spots. In some spots it needs to look orange, especially in the highlighted area or areas. So after that, what you've got to determine is truly how dark this is. And does this go into the purple sector, or does it go into more of the blue? And with this, it seems to me that it goes into the blue look here. So we're going to add kind of this is a blue violet. So it's got a little bit of purple, but this is definitely more blue. And then with this, it's not quite dark enough. This is on top of this. This is like that underfold, kind of like these right here. So you've got to create that illusion that that is actually going under. So what I'll do at this point is I'm going to add my indigo blue to this. And this will start to darken, and it will start to neutralize a little bit the colors that you added. So just be extremely light with this, because if you go too heavy in some areas, it's going to cover up the work that you did previously on your other layers. So I'm just going to just real lightly try this. And I would say if you don't get the results that you're looking for this, then I would add just a little bit of black. I think I'd said before on previous videos that black is a good thing to add, not quite a lot of, because it does flatten your work. But it is valuable if you just cannot get the contrast that you need. So I'm adding a little bit of this. I will pull in just a hair of black, just in that extreme dark area. So on the outside of your value here, you do have a little bit of a sheen. You know how I was telling y'all, usually there is a bright that leads into a dark value. I added my light peach, and then I'm going to add just my regular peach right there in the really bright areas. And what you can see is this is starting to separate this a bit more from this. So this is now starting to look on top, and this is starting to look on the bottom, just simply because I took this and I just ran a little bit of this over the strip that is above this. I'm looking down here, this little part could stand to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to take my light peach and I'll darken or brighten this just a little bit. Main thing I would tell you is look at the shapes of your lights and your darks. Try to match those shapes. All right, and you've got a bright area here. I'm laying down my foundation of my light peach right there. And then I'm going to go over it with my regular peach. It is actually a warm section. All right, and then I'm going to tone it down just a little bit with the poppy seed red. And then I'm going to go into it here with my crimson. And this is actually next to a cool section right here. So when that happens, if you're thinking, well, gosh, that's kind of orange compared to that, add whatever this color is. This was the magenta. You can add just a little hair. of the magenta on top of this as it transitions into that. And I may even put the blush pink right here. So, you know, you're mixing things, you're just playing around just a little bit to achieve what you need here. This is kind of a weird section because it's in between your warm and your cool. So you're going to get some different effects right there. Yeah, so I added some dark blues right here and some purples and things like that. Same thing here. You do, like we were talking about with the other video, you do actually in this really dark area have a little bit of a reflective thing. So look for those things. So you have this light peach right here. And even in this dark around this little edge, I'm seeing some reflective kind of stuff going on. So try to find that stuff. It adds a lot of body to your work, a lot of depth to what you're trying to accomplish here with this illusion when you add those lights in the darks, if you see them. Okay, so I may end up layering this a little bit more, but I would say this is pretty good. This is about finished. Right here, I'll take a photo of this and send this to you along with this video. I hope y'all are having a great day. If you have any questions, just send me a message, and I will see y'all in video with you guys soon.